A few days ago, the headline from USA Today was Retirement Confidence at 23-year low. Are you confident in your retirement? A new survey says nearly half of all Americans do not have confidence in their retirement plan. Many of you don't even have a plan. We'll talk to the author of the study coming up and give you plans and strategies to create a successful happy retirement. That's next on Your Money Matters here on Talk 107.3 FM.
There are plenty of people who believe a safe retirement is too good to be true, that there is no safe place for you to go with your money. Even your very own government will try to tax it right out from under your nose. But you've just tuned in to information that can save your retirement nest egg. It's Your Money Matters, featuring two of America's top retirement specialists, Christy Smith and Matt Kennedy with the Presley Group. They can teach you how to retire without all of the risk. Now, let's get back to Your Money Matters.
Well, good morning. I'm Matt Kennedy, agent with the Presley Group. Christy Smith, the owner, founder, and president of the Presley Group. She'll be joining me here in just a few moments. But we want to come right out of the chute today, right out of the gate, with some very eye-opening information. We're going to talk in a moment to Jack Vanderhei. He's the co-author of a study from the Employee Benefit Research Institute, the EBRI. Their website, by the way, is ebri.org. And the Employee Benefit Research Institute, based in Washington, D.C., for the last 23 years has surveyed Americans, primarily baby boomers, and asked them, how confident are you in your retirement plan? And the headline in the USA Today newspaper a few days back when these new survey results were unveiled, the headline in the USA Today was Retirement Confidence at a 23-year low. Now, you think about confidence, not just confidence in retirement, but when we talk about confidence in anything, what does that mean? Well, confidence means that you know where you're going, you have a plan, and you believe that plan will work out just fine. Now, what's the opposite of confidence? It's worry, right? It's concern. At the Presley Group, for over 16 years, Christy Smith, and for the last 5, I've been working with her, we work to create plans and strategies for you that give you comfort, that let you know that your money will not be taken away if the stock market crashes. Plans and strategies that let you get a guaranteed retirement income. And Christy will join me shortly. We'll talk about helping you plan that successful retirement, that confident retirement. But first, let's turn to Dr. Jack Vanderhei with the Employee Benefit Research Institute and kind of dig into the findings of their survey, the 2013 Retirement Confidence Survey. Good morning, Dr. Vanderhei. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Pleasure to be here.
This is the 23rd year you all have conducted this research, and it seems like that the results this year pretty closely mirror the results last year. Americans really aren't too confident in their retirement future, are they?
No, they're not. In fact, as you mentioned, we've done this 23 years in a row, and our results for 2013 showed the largest percentage of workers who were not at all confident that they'll have enough money to live comfortably throughout their retirement years. It's up to 28% of all workers.
Yeah, let me reiterate those numbers. 21% say they're not too confident in their retirement future. 28% are not at all confident. You add those two together, you come up with 49%. Doc, you don't mind if we round, do you? Half of Americans say they're not too confident, really, but the 28% that are not at all confident, what are their biggest concerns?
Well, the thing that we did a little bit different this year from previous years is instead of just basically rely on what they subjectively feel about their confidence, we went the next step and we said, so what percentage of your income do you think you need to save each year until retirement age to, in essence, have a comfortable retirement? And the numbers were absolutely astounding. We found that on average, people who were not at all confident that they're going to have enough think if they're under 45, they think they need to save, and this is, I'm not making it up, 33% of their income per year.
Wow.
Just to hit a comfortable retirement. If they're 45 or older, they think they need to save 43% of their income each year, which I think goes a long way to show that people who are not at all confident really have done very little, if anything, up to this particular point in time.
And it goes without saying that that's a gross underestimation, because you point out in the press release that the truth is, with the rising cost of health care, et cetera, you need to save more like 75 or 80% of your pre-retirement income to make it through retirement, right?
Well, actually, that 75 to 80 is by the time you get to retirement. If you were going to, let's say, buy an annuity, buy something that will give you a constant amount of money each and every year, that 75 to 80% is how much of your pre-retirement income you think you need to replace once you retire. Now, that's going to be combined with Social Security, of course.
Right.
These previous numbers, just to show you how astounding they are, is how much they are needing to save out of their salary each and every year up until the time they hit retirement.
And savings rates are just about at an all-time low, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. It depends how one defines it, but even if you're in a 401k plan, on average, individuals are saving about 8% of their income each year.
Is there a recommended percentage? Is it closer to, say, 15%?
Well, if you start out when you get your first job and put that money in each year, 15% is a good number. The problem is, as you're getting closer and closer to retirement, if you have done nothing or done very little up to that point in time, obviously those percentages start shooting up very, very quickly.
Our guest is Dr. Jack Vanderhei. He's the co-author of the Employee Benefit Research Institute's 2013 Retirement Confidence Survey. So a big problem is, Dr. Vanderhei, people simply aren't saving enough, but there's also a lot of uncertainty over the economy, and will I continue having a job? That's a big concern too, right?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, if you ask the people who are not currently saving why they're not, in many cases the economy has been very, very difficult for them. Either they've lost their job, they've cut back to part-time, maybe a spouse has lost a job. So it's been very difficult. Plus, as you mentioned, the uncertainty of needing to, quote, save for a rainy day outside of a retirement plan, because in some cases they're afraid they just won't be able to get at the money if they need it.
You also ask questions about, are you seeking or have you sought out financial advice? And some pretty interesting notes on that as well. What did you all find in the research about people seeking out professional financial advice? Well,
we've done a supplement to what we're referring to right now. We did a March notes article in addition to our March issue brief. And we went and actually ran through the numbers that people gave to see what probability they would have of actually having adequate retirement income for their entire lifespan after they retire. We find that those that sought the services of a financial advisor ended up having at least a 10 percentage point increase in their overall probability of ending up with adequate retirement income. So it certainly seems like it was something that was very worthwhile for these individuals.
Yeah, the numbers break down, interestingly enough. Of the people that you surveyed, about 27% say they followed all of the advice they got, whereas 41% disregarded some of the advice but followed some of it. So I think it's safe to say that, the person you speak to may not have all of the answers, but at least you're gaining knowledge when you sit down and talk to various professionals.
Well, absolutely. And again, what you're looking for when you speak to a financial advisor is going to vary from individual to individual. Many times you're relatively young and you just want to know, how should I invest my money? Other times you're getting closer to retirement and you want to know, am I on track? How much should I be saving each year? And then the most important question, the most important thing for a financial advisor when you're getting close to that age where you think you can retire is to make sure they tell you that you have enough, because it is so much easier to work a couple additional years at 65 or 66 or 67 than just go ahead and retire blindly at 65 and find out when you're 70 or 75 that you really don't have enough money, and trying to get back into the workforce in your 70s is going to be so much more difficult.
Dr. Vanderhei, you also all found out in the research that a lot of people just aren't even taking the time, though, to calculate how much they're going to need in retirement. Is that a scenario where people maybe say, if I don't talk about it, maybe the problem will go away?
Well, surprisingly, we found almost every year we've done this now that about 50% of the people don't have any systematic approach to trying to figure out whether or not they're on track. And, of course, the problem with that is the longer you wait to find out if you're on track or not, the more difficult it's going to be to catch up if indeed you're not on track. The reason why I suspect a lot of individuals think this is a very, very difficult process, in truth, just about every mutual fund or insurance company or bank has a very, very user-friendly web program that in just a couple of minutes you can get on and enter in some conveniently available numbers and find out whether or not you're on track or not. And I would really encourage people, no matter how young they are, to take a look at that and try and get a good handle on how much they need to be saving each year.
Our thanks again to Dr. Jack Vanderhei with the Employee Benefit Research Institute. Great research about retirement confidence in America. You can read the research for yourself online. The full report is at ebri.org. That's ebri.org. So the next question, of course, is, what do you do? If you're in that 49% of Americans who say they're not really too confident about their retirement future, we would like to help you. At the Presley Group, we work with people just like you every day, whether you're retired or whether you're close to retiring, or maybe you've still got a number of years to work and you just need to see, am I on track? Give us a call for a free, no obligation. We like to call it a retirement checkup. You go to the doctor to get that physical. You could come see us and we'll sit down and talk to you about your retirement future. Even if you're already retired, if you're concerned about the ups and the downs of the stock market. Look, the market has been rocking lately. The Dow broke 15,000 yesterday. And so the stock market is doing great. But as we all know, the stock market doesn't always do great. And do you have a plan that says in retirement, a portion of my retirement savings will be protected from the ups and the downs of Wall Street? Do you have a plan that says during retirement, I've got a plan that's going to pay me out a guaranteed stream of retirement income? When you have it down on paper, when you have a plan, that's what gives you confidence. And so this morning, we empower you to give us a call and schedule a free, no-obligation retirement checkup. It won't cost you anything more than a little bit of your time. And you can learn your options, especially if you're real close to retirement and you're concerned about a market correction taking away a portion of your retirement savings. Give us a call. It's always a free, no-obligation consultation at 791-5773. That's 791-5773, or visit safemoneyplan.net. Back with Christy Smith and more of Your Money Matters in a moment. And welcome back to Your Money Matters here on Talk 107.3 FM. From the USA Today newspaper not too long ago, headline, Retirement Worry is Highest in 23 Years. That's what we've been talking about this morning. Our guest last segment, Jack Vanderhei from the Employee Benefit Research Institute. Bottom line is, and Christy Smith joins me now. Christy, Americans don't feel like they're saving enough. They're worried about their money lasting long enough. They're worried about running out of money. It says a lot when the headline reads, Retirement Worry, the highest in 23 years.
Well, I think there's reason for alarm, Matt. When you look at the deficits that our country is running right now, we're at over a $16 trillion deficit.
Ooh.
When we look at at unfunded mandates, many of us don't realize that there's a much bigger concern out there than just the $16 trillion. But in fact, there's a lot of other concerns. When we look at our obligations, things that we are obligated to pay as a country in the future.
For example, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. When you look at all of those things, there are federal pensions.
Yes.
Unfunded mandates, as David Walker loves to call them, are the things that we're on the hook for long term down the road.
Social Security benefits, all our federal pensions, things like this, Medicare. That's a real concern because someone that is 55 years old and approaching retirement, or even someone that is already retired, they're having to look at what changes are going to come ahead for them in the future. Retirement concerns grow far beyond, the certainty of living the American dream and a successful retirement. Because one of the things we have to consider is that, there are going to be changes to our system, but we haven't even accounted for longevity, changes in our mortality. We're living longer.
Yep.
We're living a lot longer. And when the Social Security system was designed, it wasn't designed to really pay a retirement income, but for maybe a few years. And now what we're seeing is that system is now paying people in retirement actually a longer period of time than they actually worked. And when we see 10,000 baby boomers retiring every day, I mean, think about that. Wrap your head around that number. 10,000 baby boomers retiring daily.
In America. That's 10,000 a day.
Think about what that does to our system when we think in terms of Social Security benefits and Medicare benefits. The old pension plans, they're no longer here. I mean, we see the big corporations now doing away with guaranteed pension payouts to their employees when they walk out the door. That guaranteed paycheck's no longer there for many of us in corporate America now. And so we have to plan and do things differently, and certainly being alarmed that we're not going to be able to live the lifestyle that we're accustomed to during retirement. It's definitely a concern.
In the 2013 Employee Benefit Research Institute survey, here are the key findings. Job uncertainty is the most pressing issues for people who are currently working, not for retirees, but for those of us still working. We're worried about having a job. That's a big concern.
And not only that, Matt, how many have you seen that have been cut back to a part-time employment instead of full-time, approaching retirement, and now all of a sudden your company's having to make cutbacks. So we're seeing people go from full-time to part-time when they're at a point in their life where they're really trying to maximize retirement savings. They're not able to do that because they're not working full-time. Unemployment numbers don't look real bad right now.
Right.
But the problem is that so many people actually quit looking for work. Okay. Not only did they quit looking for work, but they exited the system. They've been drawing their unemployment benefits. They get to the maximum term that they can withdraw them. And now they're no longer drawing them because they're not able to, but yet they still aren't employed. And those numbers don't reflect, Matt, the people that settle for part-time work with the same company versus full-time work. I mean, unemployment numbers are a lot worse than what we perceive them to be.
I think the most stunning statistic from this Employee Benefit Research Institute 2013 survey about how do you feel about planning for retirement, Christy, 28% of workers say they have less than $1,000 in savings or investments. And Jack Vanderhyde pointed out last segment, we're not saving enough in retirement. Do you know about a third of people thought that about 30% of their salary, only about 30% would be enough in retirement? Well, you know and I know from working with people, you need about 70 to 85% of your salary to comfortably live in retirement. And Jack Vanderhyde says there's this big disconnect between what I need to save and what I am saving.
Not only that, Matt, there's a big, well, in my opinion, a big misunderstanding about how much you're going to need to live on during retirement, which then causes great concern. to those facing retirement, because they often anticipate that during retirement they're not going to need as much money to live on as they need when they're working. And let's face it, many times they need more.
That's right.
Because they're now traveling to go see grandchildren.
Their health
their
care
children,
bills
their
are
health cares
expensive.
are adding up. Their gas, their fuel, their transportation costs are increasing. It's not a picture like, oh, let's retire and all of a sudden our expenses are cut in half. It just doesn't work that way. And so you really need to plan and prepare for retirement. I think ideally we want to start looking at retirement numbers about 5 years before retirement, to be quite honest with you.
Well, I'm glad you said that. You didn't read this one statistic, so I'm going to have you guess, okay? I love guessing games. What percentage, Christy, of people who are nearing retirement, what percentage have even calculated how much they'll need in retirement? Now, we told you the survey said that most people are underestimating.
Yeah.
But what percentage had even sat down with their spouse and calculated how much they're going to need in retirement?
I would bet that percentage is probably less than 15%.
Well, it's actually 46%.
Oh, wow.
Because
that's not the way it is when people come into our office.
Exactly.
I can't tell you how many people come into the office and want to retire in less than 6 months and have no idea how much money they're going to need to live on because they haven't worked out a budget.
Yeah.
I think the first step to planning for retirement is creating a budget so that you can see how much you're going to need to live on during retirement.
You're so right. It says here only 46% report that they and or a spouse had tried to calculate how much money they will need to save in order to have a retirement. So at least, Christy, at least half of people are thinking about it. But the problem is they need guidance on how to save.
And the ones that are planning for it, Matt, probably out of that 47%, I'd be willing to bet 20% of them aren't calculating for future costs.
They are not.
They're not taking inflation into account. They're not taking healthcare costs rising. We all believe that taxes are going to rise. Those are things that are easy to forget because we look at the numbers and we base them on today's value. And we say, this is how much we're going to need. But the reality is, for someone that's retiring at 65 years old, and we see people retire even before that, they have to plan on living another 20 years. So the amount of money that they're going to need, is going to greatly differ between now and by the time they're 80, 85 years old.
That's right. Let me quote again from the Employee Benefit Research Institute press release. By the way, their website is ebri.org. You can find this survey online, ebri.org. To help improve retirement confidence, because what's the opposite of worry, Christy? It's confidence, right?
Yes. To
help improve retirement confidence, they suggest simple steps like sitting down and assessing your personal financial situation. Like you said, make a budget, participate in a retirement plan. Sign up for the plan and utilize calculators and online planning. Meet with someone, create a plan that focuses on saving as well as spending. So many people will go to the doctor when they feel bad. They'll take care of their body, but they never bother to take care of having a financial plan.
Well, and not only that, Matt, one of the things that I believe is so critical is creating a rainy day fund. Now, when we're looking at retirement money, we can't really look at qualified money as a rainy day fund. And the reason for that is because if we have a real emergency and we have to pull out, $15,000, $20,000 in extra money besides our income, if all of that money is coming from qualified money, IRA plans, 401k plans, then it hits us very hard with taxes. So one of the things that I think is important is that not only do we participate in the employer-sponsored plans, but we also need to save our own rainy day nest egg to work in conjunction with our 401k plans. It's not all about just saving from your job. And it's unfortunate that many Americans get that paycheck and it's spent before they get it. And so they don't ever take into account of saving for their own personal retirement plan. And it, to me, is absolutely essential that we have that rainy day fund established. It's sad when we have to take IRA money or 401k money to establish that rainy day account, because we know under worst scenarios, if they need to pull out a large chunk of money at one time, in addition to their income, it's going to cost them dearly.
Especially if you're not yet 59 and a half. Not only does it cost you the taxes, but the IRS penalizes you a 10% penalty because you're withdrawing from a qualified plan. One of the things that they stress over and over, though, is you need to have a retirement plan, a retirement roadmap. And so we would like to help you with that. Whether you're already retired, if you're approaching retirement, especially if you're approaching retirement, do you have a plan? Do you know how much money you're going to need in retirement? We always offer a free retirement consultation. Won't cost you a penny, so that we can help you begin to develop that plan. Our number is 791-5773. That's 791-5773. Call us. We don't bite. We don't twist arms. But we would like to just sit down with you and help you draw up that roadmap. Or you can always contact us through our website, safemoneyplan.net. And Christy, plenty of people also told the research group that they're also concerned about leaving a legacy. They're concerned about protecting their family. We commonly call that estate planning. But there's a big myth. Well, estate planning's only for rich people. Nothing could be further from the truth. Because when we talk about estate planning, we're talking about wills, living wills, things that everyone needs to take care of, right?
Absolutely. And while we're not attorneys, we are certified estate planners. And what that means is that, you know, we have gone through the extra training to be able to recognize how to help people plan and protect their estate. You know, when you're doing financial planning now while you're alive, it really revolves around life events, and those life events are going to be expected and unexpected, and often there's financial implications and opportunities that can affect you. So estate planning is critical, in my opinion, and not even optional to creating a solid retirement plan. We need a estate plan as well. Now, because of this, and you know, I've been helping people in this area for over 16 years, and what I see is that many people do not believe they need an estate plan. And so I've taken the last almost 5 years to write this book. It's called Plan, Protect, Preserve. Now, this book is not intended to, you know, be the Bible, you know, but it is designed to give you good information to help guide you in the right direction. Because I believe even young workers that have a family need an estate plan. I mean, in going through our certification process, I realized the importance of estate planning for even, you know, 30-year-olds that have young children. I mean, this is so important that we address. And so this book is going to give you a general guideline to help you make good decisions. If you call our office today, we'll send you a copy of my book, recently published. Now, this book will sell for $19.97. But if you call our office today, we'll give it to you at no cost. Our office number is 791-5773. Now, in addition to that, if you'd like to come in and just kind of look at your estate plan and look at your financial plan just to see if you're on track, we'd be happy to do that. I want you to ask yourself this question. How many of you go to your physician once a year to have an annual checkup? How many of you go to the dentist once a year to have a checkup?
Or once every 6 months.
Once every 6 months, I recommend.
For a cleaning,
but at least once a year.
Yeah.
And how many of you schedule to have your major car maintenance on an annual basis? You know, I empower you to give yourself permission to have a financial physical and an estate physical done every year. It can make such a difference. And we're here to help you do that. Give our office a call. We'll give you a copy of the book. We'll send it out to you immediately, and we can schedule a no-obligation consultation for us to sit down and really address your needs and see if we can make a difference.
Retirement worry is at a 23-year high. Are you prepared for retirement? When we come back in our next segment, we'll talk about some of the plans that we use at the Presley Group that can give you confidence in retirement, guaranteed income, for example. We'll touch on that when we continue in just a moment here on Your Money Matters on Talk 107.3 FM.
Good morning and welcome back to Your Money Matters. Glad to have you here. We're excited to be here with you. In earlier segments, we've been talking about how retirement confidence for retirement planning is so low. And we also talked about estate planning. How can having a good estate plan benefit you? We've recently published a book, Plan, Protect, Preserve. If you'd like your free copy of that book, give our office a call. Our number is 791-5773, 791-5773. We'll send you a copy of Plan, Protect, Preserve. We'll send it out on Monday. And look, this is a $19 value. Give us a call. We'll be glad to send it out to you. You know, Matt, one of the things that I see when people come into the office is that, they are a lot more worried now at an earlier age.
Absolutely.
I really in the past used to see people addressing retirement concerns, a year before retirement, but I'm actually starting to see people come in at, 2, 3, 4 years out from retirement. And they're trying to create a plan now because what they see is they see how their coworkers have adjusted in retirement. They see coworkers that retired in 2008 and how the market meltdown impacted them. And what they want to know is that it's not going to happen to them.
What's interesting is, and Jack Vanderhei talked about that, and I know Andrea Coombs from Market Watch last week said that some of the greatest fear in the workplace now is not among the guy or the gal that's 3 years away from retiring. It's the 30 and 40-year-olds who have seen their own accounts melt down. They've had trouble saving money, and they're deeply concerned about what's going to happen with Social Security and Medicare when I retire.
Well, many of them believe that it's not even going to be here, Matt.
That's right, not if you're young. So those are all concerns. We talk about the difference between confidence and worry. What is worry? Worry is fretting over something. Confidence is knowing you have a plan that means in the end, everything's going to be okay. One of the biggest worries we have found, one of the biggest worries found by the Employee Benefit Research Institute was, I simply am not going to have enough money when I retire. Now, part of that's because people aren't saving enough. But even people, Christy, who have decent amounts of savings have told Jack Vanderhei and Employee Benefit Research, the problem is the stock market could take my money away. I may have to spend too much. And at the Presley Group, we have plans that give you a guaranteed, that's the key word, a contractually guaranteed retirement payout so that you don't have to worry. You can have confidence knowing I'm getting a steady retirement from my savings when I retire.
Well, Matt, when I hired you originally about 5 years ago,
right,
one of the first things I told you was, the A word is a bad word. And that A word is annuity. Okay.
You said it.
It just amazed me then. It still amazes me now. But what I'm starting to see is more and more economists focus on using annuities as an important part of a retirement plan. Now, unfortunately, our brokers have not caught on to the bandwagon. I mean, I have a gentleman that I'm working with right now. He has about $300,000. He's approaching retirement, and he's trying to decide, who do I use? So he's in the shopping process. Okay. Now, in the shopping process, it's hard on the average consumer that's worked their job and doesn't really know about investing because they hear totally different scenarios. Now, when you go to someone that's job is to invest your money in the market, what you're going to hear time and time again is you can't grow unless your money's in the market. You can't hedge for inflation unless your money's in the market. You have to take a risk for reward. And so what we see is we tend to see portfolios from brokers that are diversified into variable annuities. Now, hey, did you hear that word, annuity? They are using annuities, but they're using variable annuities. And variable annuities can be very dangerous because they're often very expensive.
Very.
In addition to that, many don't offer principal protection, okay? Your money's actually in the market. So if the market goes up, you make money. But if the market goes down, you lose.
Yeah, and don't gloss over the fees. I read a stunning article at marketwatch.com this week about a variable annuity, and this gentleman was simply pointing out how a man went to his broker, then he came to see him, and he also is a contributor to MarketWatch. Christy, this particular man was paying 5.2% in total fees in his variable annuity. 5.2% a year. That is absolutely, well, it's a sin. It's stunning.
It is.
It's stunning.
And what was worse about this gentleman is that he, when we looked at his portfolio, the broker was going to utilize 3 different variable annuities along with bond funds. Now, we're not talking bonds. We're talking bond funds, which we both know bond funds can be dangerous to a retirement portfolio depending upon interest rates.
Yes.
Okay, we're in a very low interest rate environment. Why do you want to go into a bond fund when they're at a high? Okay, then we looked at different mutual funds. The funny thing is that this gentleman got so confused by the mess because he said to me, Christy, I don't want to lose this money. This is drop money. I don't want to lose this money. I can't afford to lose this money. Then my response to him was quite simple. You're getting caught up in the he said, she said, but what you really need to go back to is your goals. If your goals are to ensure that you never outlive this money, that you do not lose this money, then putting your money into the market is simply not an option. And it's unfortunate because we think that we have to put our money in the market to make a reward so that we can live a comfortable retirement. And in fact, our indexed annuities, I call them a hybrid account, our hybrid accounts, they've actually outperformed the true S&P 500. If we go back from 2000, January 1st of 2000 to December 31st of 2010, our fixed indexed annuities that were linked to the S&P 500 outperformed the true S&P 500.
And here's why. I know you're asking, well, how can that be? It's because when the stock market has a downturn, our plans don't share in market losses. Our plans never take a loss when the market goes down.
And they don't do that, Matt, because your money's not invested in the market.
Right.
Your money's invested with the insurance companies.
Our plans link your returns to the market, let you share in gains in the good years. So in other words, if the market goes way up, you won't get all of the gains. You'll get some of the gains. But that annual gain is locked in. We can't stress that enough. If you have an account and you earn $10,000 of interest, that $10,000 locks into your account. And if the next year, if the stock market goes way down, not only do you not lose your original investment, you don't lose that annual gain that locked in. And when the market starts recovering, when the bulls come back out after the bears, then you make more money and you add the new money to the old earnings. So you're never having to play catch up. And then the extra icing on the cake is if you say, Matt, Christy, I need a guaranteed income. Because what the Employee Benefit Research Institute found was that so many Americans were afraid, I'm going to run out of money. Our strategies say, pay me, if you want this, pay me a guaranteed income that lasts for my life and that lasts for my wife's life, and we will not run out of money. That's the guarantee.
Well, even if your money ran out, your income is going to still continue to come in. That's what's important.
That's incredible.
The thing is that we have to start thinking about things differently. How many of you think that you have to put your money at risk to make money? That's absolutely not true. And for us to come such a long way, even in 5 years, Matt, 5 years ago, how many times did you read an economist write an article that said, don't use annuities? And now compare it to how many economists actually say you need to use annuities as part of your retirement plan.
So often we talk to Robert Powell from MarketWatch, and Robert says he views it as a three-legged stool. A stool with only two legs isn't very stable.
No.
A three-legged stool would be, say, your pension, if you have that, Social Security, And that third leg has to be something, Robert says, that gives you guaranteed income during retirement. So you have a stable retirement. We like to think of our plans as plans that help you build a foundation. And we're not saying don't be in the stock market, but think as you plan your retirement, what are my needs?
I like to think that our plans, Matt, give our clients financial security in any economy. And that's what we really need. Often people plan for the best, and I see that. They plan for the best. When we're looking at retirement planning, do we want to plan for the best and hope for the best?
Better plan for the worst and hope for the best.
That's right. That's right. And if we fail to plan, then we're just setting ourselves up for failure. I mean, we have to do things differently. These hybrid accounts are so valuable when we're talking about retirement money. Now, you might think, what if I have some money that's not earmarked for retirement? That's actually earmarked for safety. It's a nest egg for one day if I need it. It's at the bank and CDs. We have plans that are great for that money too. We don't have to use strictly retirement money into these accounts. Now, if you would like to learn how one of our hybrid accounts can help you, give our office a call today and schedule your appointment to come in and meet with either me or Matt. It's a complimentary visit, no arm twisting, just simply learning the facts. You owe it to yourself to learn the facts. And when you come in, we're going to give you a free copy of my recently published book, Plan, Protect, Preserve. Now, that's a $19 value, but I will tell you the consultation in itself is about a $500 value. Give our office a call. Don't wait. Don't get caught up in all the clutter of life, because that's what happens to us. We get busy and we put off. And we have to take action if we want things to be different in the future for us.
Well, I guess we're talking to those people who Jack Vanderhei and the Employee Benefit Research Institute found had never even taken the time to calculate, what am I going to need? Are my savings on track? Am I saving enough? And then if I've already saved and I'm ready to retire, how do I protect myself and give myself confidence in retirement?
Well, you can protect yourself by empowering yourself to make changes and to learn what your options are. Give our office a call. Schedule your no-cost, no-obligation appointment. We'll give you a copy of my book, Plan, Protect, Preserve. It's a free visit. But, hey, if you don't have time to come in, give us a call today. If you call us today, we'll mail you a copy of this book. This book is so valuable because it lets all of us know that, it's not just the wealthy that need to estate plan. Again, our office number is 791-5773. And guess what? You can go on our website, safemoneyplan.net. Safemoneyplan.net. We've got great, valuable information on our website. And in addition to that, you can schedule your consultation at that point. Go on our website, safemoneyplan.net. Now, we love being here with you every Saturday morning. Been on the radio. We've been very blessed to be here on the radio in Baton Rouge for about 6 years now. Let us help make a difference in your retirement future. We'll be back next week with more of Your Money Matters, brought to you by the Presley Group here on Talk 107.3 FM.